What's going on? It's Mardyny, and you're tuning in to the Clout. Mardyny is heroic.
I like
so just in context, just like inspiring, just like the journey I've taken. I want to inspire other musicians, artists, entertainers, business people. You know, take that leap. You know, if you believe in something, you believe in yourself, man, do that shit. So not even on no cliche, like, you know, you only live once, but on some like, yo, man, take control of your life. Don't let nobody tell you, you know, what you can and cannot do. So that's what yeah. Man, so at first, you know, it was like when you open the app, I was like, man, I finally made headway. And it's, so I was like excited at first. And then you kind of go and you see the comment section, and it's more so about, you know, people are they've heard both songs. And just to give context, I guess, I told them that a song that I had done really resembled a J. Cole song. And I was like, yo, y'all think maybe he heard this song and maybe used some of it because the producer that I did the song with had sent him that beat or to their camp. Like in 2019. I mean, highly unlikely, but you know, it was just you know what I mean, off first listen, I was like, yo, this is very similar. So when I did the video, I went and checked the comments, and yo, they were going bananas in the comments, like, yo, this shit is not even two worlds apart. You know, there ain't no way. What the fuck are you listening to? This, that, and the third. And then there's some people like in between that just really gave it a shot, and they were like, you know what? I can see where you got that from. Like I can hear some of the resemblances. So just going off that, I was like, damn, you know, there are some people that are actually listening, but motherfuckers is just chewing you up in there. So and to me, that was like spreading negativity. Like to me, I idolize J. Cole. That's one of my favorite artists of all time. And you know, I love all he does for hip hop. So I didn't even want to come off that way or anything like that. I didn't want that to be my entry into finding a fan base. You know what I mean? So that's kind of just took it down on that. Damn, that's crazy. How you know that? How do you?
Hardboard, bro. 2.0.
Yo, man. So that is a crazy collective I was a part of in Richmond when I first started like really recording. I got together with a lot of my homies in Richmond, and we put out a couple songs on SoundCloud, and they had gone viral on campus. I mean, that was like the craziest experience at the time. There was 4 of us, and I was going by another name at that time. But man, we put on shows at like fraternity houses. I remember walking past the soccer house, the VCU soccer team's house, and they had the songs playing. Nobody was telling nobody to play. It was just fucking organic. Like motherfuckers was just playing that shit around the campus. I mean, I remember going into bars and people coming up to us and being like, yo, are y'all the dudes that made those songs? So that was quite an experience. And, you know, that shit kind of, we all went our separate ways at the end. I think, you know, it was the choices between taking it serious or, you know, figuring out real life shit. So, man, it was unreal. I remember we had a party at one of the Cary Street houses, and like everybody in there was singing word for word songs that we had made in our fucking apartment. So just, it was nuts, man. It was nuts. People singing it. And at that time I was a little timid because I couldn't comprehend like what was happening. So, and I honestly don't really like the spotlight on me too much. Like, it's tough. It's tough for me to take compliments sometimes. So at that time, I was just sitting there, and everybody's just rapping my whole verse, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, yo, this is possible. This is motherfucking possible. That's what that journey taught me. Like, as far as I've come, that little fucking 6-month year run that we had at school, that shit was like, yo, this shit is possible. $0, zero marketing dollars. Virality, zero marketing dollars, and man, motherfuckers was playing it all around all the campuses. We would get Snapchats, Instagram tags, Twitter. I remember we were doing like 3,000-4,000 streams a day. Like none of our shit is up on Spotify, Apple Music, none of that. So we missed a lot of windows, which is like a lot of lessons learned. But man, that experience was fucking amazing. I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life. Sure. Absolutely, man. I often think if I went back in time with the knowledge I know, I would go fuck the city up, just cause like, you get a network so big. Once you get some good music, you know what I mean? You can invite a lot of people to, have a little gathering, throw parties, have the music playing, get people at shows. People will start talking about you eventually, you know what I mean? And that shit will spread. I mean, you look at that kid 24K Golden. It's kind of a similar, like what he had did is what we were doing. We just didn't, USC is a much bigger school. VCU is a little bit smaller. So what we did, is what he did. He just did it on a much larger scale, and he was able to break through, you know what I mean? That California, his shit was going, countrywide. Yeah. So it's that formula right there works. Like for anybody listening, those kids at school, and you want to make shit happen, man, go link up with a fraternity, a sports team, something, man, and give them some good shit to listen to, man, and they'll play it. And your shit will grow, and it will grow faster than like any other marketing scheme you could come up with. And now, like, as the more and more I get into the music industry, I understand the marketing behind it, and that shit is fucking ingenious. You make these kids they all live together, bro. Yeah. What you're listening to in your room is what the fuck your roommate's gonna listen to, no matter what he says or she says. So she's gonna eventually like, I heard that song before. She's gonna go out. She heard it 3-4 times. Now she's like, I'm gonna go check that shit out for myself. College tour, man. Yeah, this shit is ingenious. And it's still today. If you can connect with, Corday just did his little walkthrough to a bunch of HBCUs. The kid, like, he knows, you know what I mean? You gotta be in touch. You gotta be on the ground. People gotta, like, see you. I changed my name from Lebanon down to Mardyny because I felt like Mardyny was more of me. It is my last name, but as I was continually changing through like life events and growing and learning, I felt like the music I was making was more of the stories I was telling about myself and trying to like enlighten folks. So I felt like Mardyny was just like perfect for me. It's my name, it's who I am. So that's why I did that. Man, some people don't know this, but 24 Hours went to high school in like Spotsylvania. Him and Made in Tokyo. So I had a friend who had a friend that worked at a barbershop, and he had been hearing my music every time he came to the shop, and he was like, I know 24 Hours, I know Made in Tokyo. Like I went to school with them for a couple years. I could get you a feature, and I didn't really believe him. And then one day I was at work and he called me and he was like, once you get off work, I don't care what you got on your computer, bring something over there. He's doing features for the low. Just pull up and we can see what happens. So I got off work, man. I was in my 9-to-5 grind at that time too. So, man, we got off work. Me and my roommates, we went to the studio. I had pulled up a song that I thought he would fit on. And he was like, knock that shit out in 25 minutes, man. And that shit was just a crazy experience. Just having a homie hit you. And then we stayed there till like 4 or 5 in the morning. So yeah, it was dope experience. I have nobody on my list as of right now. Like the greats, I definitely want to get up. But as far as like, up and coming, I haven't really made a list yet of who I want to collab with, but I'm open for collaborations. Just what makes sense. My sound, their sound. We could find like a middle ground with. J. Cole, for sure. I feel like his music is kind of like this blueprint to stay in the course of like yourself, like not deviating and like, I'm doing this because this is cool. Or I'm wearing that because everybody's wearing it. I feel like his music has always been him. His appearance, the way he comes off, is always him. He's always him in every room that he's in. And that shit just like, it fuels me. It's inspiring. It's like, it doesn't matter where he's at. It's always gonna be him. And like, that's like notes I've taken for myself and applied it. Damn, I'm gonna say some like cliche shit though. Man, it depends like what man. I don't know. I definitely want Cole on there because that's, one of my idols and one of the people that really inspire me. Drake is one. I know we haven't even heard a Drake and Cole song in so long. Man, I would say just me and Cole in general, as far as like a radio single, you know, that shit would be, you know, mean the world to me. So, yeah, that's good enough. You know, anything else like Drake's also in my top 5. So it's like working with him, you know, that would mean the world too. No, I was ambitious. I was not scared. I was like, yo, I'm ready to come out here. I just quit my job. I saved up, you know, a couple $1,000. I was like, yo, with this much money, I got this much runway. I can make something happen in a year. And this was like in 2019, like the summer of 2019. So when I came out here, I hit the ground running. I was trying to network with as many people as I can, get into the right rooms and things of that nature. So as, you know, as I progressed, as the journey started, I ended up realizing, yo, this shit is difficult as hell. Like, everybody out here is an artist. What separates you from them? You know what I mean? It's such a superficial world out here too. So, you know, like I said in the previous answer about staying true to yourself, that is like it's the key to all this shit. It's like, if you're able to be you in every room you're in, man, it's gonna work every single time. You know, people are gonna see, you know, what's organic about you when you're shooting videos, when you're making songs, you know, working with the right people. You know, that's the key to all this. And that's one thing I learned, like coming out here. Like, it took a little bit of time, and I feel like I'm a fast learner. So I'm seeing things like the way I'm networking, that's not working. I'm not able to link up with these people, or I'm not getting a call back. All right, let me change my tactics. Let me change how I'm talking to these people. Let me, you know, maybe this ain't the right spot. This ain't the right spot to meet the right person that I need to speak with. So I did all that, and you know, a lot of doors opened for me as I was able to continue like applying the lessons that I was learning instead of being so hung up and doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like that's what led to a lot of my growth. Even to today, like, if shit ain't working, you know, we're gonna try something else until it does work. Before I quit, I came up with this year plan. I was like, yo, I'm gonna save X amount of money every month. I'm gonna work on this mixtape. I'm gonna keep working pretty much that whole year. I'm getting like all my ducks in a row so that like, you know, I'm closing out my apartment. I'm closing out all my debt. I remember I paid off all my credit cards, all my other shit. The only thing I had left was my student loans. I lowered everything to the minimal so that when I came out here, I knew, you know, the worst comes to worst, I could defer my student loans, and I gotta pay my rent and my phone bill, and then a little something to eat. So I knew those were like the top. Like, I made like this little Excel sheet to make sure that I could like live. So I came up with a number, and I was like, yo, that number will give me X amount of runway, like give me close to a year. And I know I can make something happen, like with just the ambition that I have. So, yeah, that when I came out here, man, that's how I was living. I was living on a budget. I was making sure, you know, I was fed, the rent was paid. And then, you know, if I gotta go into this club and it costs $100 because so-and-so's in there, man, that's part of it. That's part of your budget. You gotta make sure you gotta get in there because you need to be down. This is why I moved out here. So making those small sacrifices, they make sense, you know? Like, you're not shopping no more. I know as an artist, you want to upkeep your image, man. You gotta do what's you know, in your budget, what's gonna really, you know, like if I'm buying this sweatshirt and now I can't get into the club, like that don't make no sense because I moved all the way out here to meet the right people, and now I can't even do that because I want to wear this sweatshirt. So you got to make, you know, the right business and the right money moves at the same time too, and do not be afraid to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? So those are like some of the little lessons, you know, I learned and applied while coming out here, and I kind of had a grasp on that. So, yeah, it's just saved up that money and moved out, and I did not work. As soon as I got here, I just hit the ground running. I released the tape. After I released that tape, I started, a PR firm had picked me up. I got a call about, you know, getting a distribution deal with Create Music Group. And at that time they had, you know, 6ix9ine, who else came? Trippy was over there, motherfucking, Marshmello came up through there. I mean, and then I got the tour like from the A&R. So it was like, you know, I'm watching, this is 5 months in. So I'm like, yo, I'm doing the right things. You know, I'm losing money every day. It's like $100 to breathe out here in LA. You know what I mean? Just to step outside your house. So I feel like I'm doing the right things. I'm not giving up, like even when doors close on me. So, you know, doing that tour was reassurance that like I had done the right things. And then eventually I ended up signing with them. and releasing songs with them throughout this last year. And man, that was a journey of itself. I got calls to get on TV shows, music shows and stuff like that. So yeah, once those doors open, and then obviously bam, pandemic hit. So that kind of just stopped everything. So, but yeah, up until now, I just been working, ready to release some stuff. No, but like the virus was so it was terrifying out here because it's a lot of people. I think LA County may have like the most people per capita, and yo, the food was selling out. Like I don't think people really realize it was just tough out here. The food was selling out. I'm running out of money. You know, I actually just started applying to jobs before, you know, before the pandemic hit, because I was like, yo, let me make sure I got a couple more months left. Let me make sure I'm like getting ahead of myself so I don't have to like, you know, go home or anything like that. So wham, as soon as that shit hits, nobody knows what the fuck is happening. Nobody knows, like, are people really dying? You know what I mean? Is the grocery stores open? I'm going to Walmart at 6 a.m., bro, and I'm watching like news channels like it's some sort of like, it's like a fucking reality TV show. Like this is real life and they got a news channel. Bro, there's a line about 10 blocks out, exaggerating obviously, but 10 blocks out on Walmart, like at 7 a.m, just so we could go get groceries. And I just remember everything was out. And I know the whole country too, with just like the cleaning products and all that shit. So it was tough out here for sure. Sure. Yeah, I was told, you know, no path, like artist paths are never alike. Like everybody has their own journey that they got to go through, and getting to where you want ultimately could just be hundreds of different paths, right? So I think the more I study, like, all right, how are people I've ran into mad people out here that just, they're not huge, but yo, their bills is covered and they straight. So like, I just talking to them like, yo, I'm doing syncing, I'm doing commercials, I'm writing songs for commercials. A lot of producers, yo, they just mailing off beats for these like commercials. Having a conversation with one of my boys, and he had been given a 6-figure offer for a commercial for a holiday, for a company for a holiday shoot. You know what I mean? So if he nails that, you know what I mean? That, like, people make that in a year. He made that in like 2 days worth of work. You know what I mean? So those are like those types of opportunities. Like the sync world, I think there was like a chart I read. It makes up like maybe 3% of the industry. But yo, when you come to LA, everybody's looking for music. You know what I mean? You know, these big players like Amazon, Netflix, Apple now, they're all getting into movie space, right? And they need songs for these shows, and they're not gonna go pay. You know, these huge artists charge crazy fees. They need publishing, and for those shows to be successful, you know, they got to cut down somewhere. So they go after the smaller artists because they know the fee will be shorter. So you know, that's where I kept my eye out. I kept asking around. I finally got one of my first big opportunities. I'm still dealing with the negotiations and everything, but everything seems to be looking good. But I did like a 2-song deal with Amazon. I can't announce what it is yet, but it's a documentary that'll be coming out soon. And you know, that's gonna open more doors for me too. So yeah, like artists, if you know, you don't have to bring money in off streaming initially. You know what I mean? That's the goal. You become efficient with your streams, but there are other ways to make money, man. You sell merch every time you drop. You know, you can make. I remember the first drop, I sold like 50 shirts, and they sold in like 2 days. I made like $1,800. You know what I mean? You know, you can pay some rent with that. So, you know, just being creative, and if you're willing to stay on the mind frame of like, I got to do music because that's me. I don't want to like veer off and end up at a job and it's taken away from something. So get creative. Try to figure out, you know, ways you can make money while doing music, because you get those syncs, man. You getting credits, you getting publishing, and then eventually it's your resume, right? Like you going out, you meeting managers. Yo, I just nailed this sync. I got this sync. I got that sync. People are watching the show or the commercial. They gonna hear your stuff. They gonna Shazam it. You getting more plays anyway. So, you know, it's free marketing. You getting paid to get a song on, and you know, people are gonna eventually, you know, you're getting credited. So. Damn, I don't even know if I have the right answer to that. Like my path, I know a lot of producers, they have like access to portals that certain companies give them to submit. I didn't have access to that. I met a dude in a bar who was a manager, and we just started talking about music. I sent him my music. And then, he allowed me to get on the phone with him, and I told him about like the situations I was in with music, and he gave me a lot of good advice about like just how to maneuver and staying consistent. And then he had opportunities, and when I had called and told him that I had landed, like I got on Amazon's Breaking Through Hip Hop, at like number 4, which is a huge deal for me. It was like one of my first major editorials, and he was like, "Yo, I got all this sync work, like." This is what I can give you. You can submit, and and he's the one that gave me that shot. But I've heard other people, it's networking is one. 2 is you can go online and find the sync or the score of the film or the commercial. What they call, like song man? What is it called? Something manager, some shit.
Song manager.
Nah, I can't even remember. But they handle like the music coming like to shows, and they I can't remember. Hopefully we can put that in at the bottom somewhere. Like sync, there's a sync manager, which if you go through it, you can add this in. Sync managers, I remember in my contract, I think this is normal based on what my lawyer was telling me, but they take 50%. So if they get you the sync license, they're gonna take 50 of the money coming up front. So my suggestion to you is like, that's a good place to start. You know what I mean? The big thing is, you're making money off of what you love. Like, that's the biggest thing, and it will continue to grow. Everything's a chess move. You add that to your resume and you keep going. But, if you find the actual director that's handling the music for the show, or like, NBA 2K, the EA Sports crew, like if you find who's doing that and you can submit and you get in, you collect the whole bag up front, just you. You know what I mean? So, depends on what path you want to take. Like if somebody can give you the opportunity and they take 50, that may be the best up front because you don't know nobody. But as you continue to navigate and network, and you get to the right places and talk to the right people, you can just collect that yourself. When I first got here, there was a time that I always remember. This lady came up to me in the gym, and I was wearing a shirt that said, music makes life better or something like that. And she stopped me, asked if she could work in. And then at the end, she was like, "Hey, do you make music?" And I was like, yeah, I just moved here. And she goes, "That's amazing. What type of music you make?" I told her hip hop. And she was like, "Yo, I'm the CEO of this sync organization." And she was like, "Yo, we've got a lot of people that come to us." She named, EA Sports, Activision, every movie I'm talking about. Like, now that I got the hindsight, I see movies on her emails that she sends me that the public doesn't even know is being released. And, they have to go sync music probably a year in advance, right? Or like at least start the process. So for pitching. So she invites me to this like Sunday brunch in Calabasas. I go over there and like, man, a lot of the guys over there, they getting syncs with Disney. Those are $500,000, 6 figures worth of sync money that's going around. And, she made me introduce myself, and she told me, when you're ready, you know what I mean? You could come deliver your music and we'll see what fits. And the way she does it is a little different than everybody else. You pay a fee to show up. It's like $300-400 if you're a member. Oh, the company's called NARP, I believe. It's called NARP. You show up to the sync, to like the meeting, and she'll tell you, "Hey, yo, before you come on the 15th, we're doing this movie. EA Sports is showing up, and Activision, right? So they got video games and all that. So that, that opened my eyes, like when I first got here, because nobody really told me, like, yo, you can make money in other ways. You don't just gotta bring in stream money off rip. So that really opened my eyes to like, all right, yo, there's mad ways to make money in this shit. These dudes are living pretty nice here in the hills off of, making songs just for movies and films. So get verified. So I think there's like a,
does it say articles or like, make as many YouTube videos as you can? Or what type of shit did you
So
do?
I think, you got to get the articles. I believe there's like, you need close to 10. I think there's like some sort of regimen that they got online that allowed, like, you got to get close to that for them to even like consider it or what have you. So I know it's like it's mainly publications. And if you get on sync shows too, like those shows that you're working on, depending on how big the show is, they verify all the cast members. So like, if you're able to like get on one of these Netflix shows, Amazon shows, Apple shows, like, and you talk to whoever, whoever's helping you out with the sync or the scorer of the film, those people get verified because they're part of the crew, the casting crew. So, there's tons of different ways. Go through a PR firm. The PR firm will help you get the articles you need, will help you get in contact with the people you need, and and get you where you need to be if that's what you're after. My suggestion is, those PR firms are kind of expensive. So if you got extra cash, for sure, do it. But if you're on a budget and you're trying to like stretch the money you do have, bro, put it in the promo. The more fans you get, the more notoriety. People will pick you up off your own email pitching. You won't need to go through a PR firm to get the articles that you need. So that's just my advice. It just depends on, what type of money you got. I don't have anything scheduled at the moment. I'm working on finalizing a EP right now. And once I get the EP done, I'm going to try and lock in a ton of stuff around LA. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, I haven't announced it yet, but maybe by the time this is out, it's called In the Meantime. And the concept behind it is like in transition between where I want to be. Like my goal is to get signed with Dreamville. So I'm like in between. It's like in between time. I'm getting the recognition like that is basically telling me, yo, I'm selling songs. I'm able to, I just got featured on Apple Music's New in Hip Hop, Amazon's Breakthrough in Hip Hop. So it's like certain things are lining up to me. So to me, it's like I'm in between this transition space to where ultimately my goal is and my dream is. So that's why I called it In the Meantime. I just feel like the concept of that label, not a concept, the concept's not the right word. Just like the imagery of that label is like to push artists. They don't care about the like as far as like commercial success. If the music's good, if it's hip hop, if it's what you want to do as an artist, they're gonna be behind you 100%. I watch a ton of their interviews with like Ibrahim, the CEO, and just kind of his perspective. He gives his pointers on does he like the song, does he not? But ultimately, he always says like it's up to you. So I just think that's dope. It's like creative control at one of the biggest labels, that's out. And I just feel like they're giving great guidance. And all those guys don't have commercial success, and they're successful as fuck. So that tells you something. I don't know how many other labels you guys can name where a lot of the artists that he has aren't fucking superstars, but they're well known in the hip hop community. If you like rap, like if you really like hip hop and you're not just listening to what's on the radio, you know who Jid is. The Luke kid that just that they are pushing now. I fuck with his shit. I just listened to his first project. He's tough.
Boz, isn't he on Dreamville?
Who?
Boz,
yeah. Like, and I've heard of Boz since like 2016, 2017. All those guys, you know what I mean? Who else do they got? They got
Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox. They also got see, my mind's slipping me. The group, the two dudes.
Earth Gang.
Yeah, Earth Gang. My mind is slipping me. Yeah, and I watched their interviews too on like how they got signed. Like how J. Cole did it, man. The dude's a genius to me. Like he just fucked with what they were doing, and they weren't. I don't know where they were at in their career at the time, but it's just like Cole took a chance and he's pushing them. He makes sure that like their artists are on the forefront. He's doing label albums. A lot of people aren't doing those anymore. So, and if you really love it, man, you're gonna do what's necessary. I always look at it like that. Not to sound cliche, but the shit is a marathon. It's gonna be blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not even to where I want to be yet, and I've already made tons of sacrifices. So as you continue to go, it's like, what are you willing to put up with for what you love, right? Like, you know what I mean? Could be 5 years of work to live how you want to live for the rest of your life. Like, people don't put that in their mind. They go, yo, I want instant success, or it needs to be in the next 3 years, or I'm a failure. Bro, you got the rest of your life to live. You know what I mean? So it's just about staying consistent, growing, And if this is what you want to do, I always believe in every human. If it's something that you want to do, you will make it happen. You will make the proper sacrifices and do the right things to continue on. So, yeah. Listen. This is not one of them stories that end well. The cash better equal out, we going Denzel. I was sure by the intel, we would sell like them boats with them big wheels. Lamborghini Gallardo look just like a Hot Wheel. I got eyes like a spot deals. I know how the top feels. Came a long way from them oat meals. Now the coffee is oat milk. I skipped out on dope deals. Now the pockets is full with them hundreds, but ended as roadkill. Reverse it as Benjamin Button. Got a bitch that's in need of reductions. I'm skipping my evening lunches to meet for discussion. It's screw the sound. That's just the wheels on my luggage. That's just the sound of my tummy. I'm hungry. That burst me. My tummy is touching. Either you hate it, you love it, but you gon' run me my money.